Good morning from Kitzingen in Franconian wine country. I'm up, it's about 8:45 in the morning. I found a cafe which is open for breakfast and I'm going to have a seat there just as soon as these church bells stop ringing. So on the one hand, I really like drinking my coffee outdoors. I'm just not too keen on breathing other people's smoke, the dirty bastards. Two of the saddest sights when you visit a small German town. On my left, a closed pub to be converted to housing. On my right, a closed brewery. German newspapers have been talking about Brauerei since the 1960s, the death of breweries. Back in the 60s, it wasn't too bad yet. Most every town of any size still had its own brewery. But in the 30 years that I've been visiting, it's got significantly worse, I think. Just in the time I've been coming here, many towns have lost their local brewery. And the pubs and restaurants which once took their beer have to get a supply from a bigger, more corporate brewery such as Kronbacher. I can remember breweries such as Hirnickel in Haßfurt, Brauhaus Schweinfurt, Würzburger Hofbräu, all now swallowed up by Kronbacher, which itself was a merger of all the local breweries in Kronbach. It's not so much that they make bad beer, they don't. But I prefer, while I still can, to drink the beer of the surviving independent breweries. Often you'll find the smaller breweries' beers still being served in surprising places such as Turkish, Greek and Italian restaurants, which are the vernacular eating and socialising places here. You wouldn't expect to find great beer in a restaurant in Britain, but it can often be surprisingly good here in Germany. And you can often find a surprising discovery even in the humblest kind of fast food place. So do take a look in the fridge next time you go for a bratwurst or a kebab. Sorry, a kebab. You might be surprised what you find. Speaking of small breweries, the place I'm going today is not very far away from Kitzingen at all. It's not a long journey either, but it is so awkward to get to on public transport, especially on a Sunday, that I've had to devote a whole day to it. It starts with going just one stop on the train to Iphofen. There's only one train an hour, so I'm making sure I get to the station in good time. Now I'm only going one stop on this train, about 5 minutes. So I don't really need a seat, but I'm having one anyway. It's another scorcher today. I hope there's a bit of shade when I get to this brewery. Possibly even a refreshing glass of beer. That would be just the job on a day like this. Today I'm going to Brauerei Wolf in Rüdenhausen, right here in the middle of wine country. It's about half an hour from Rüdenhausen on the bus. And I'm going simply because I've been told the beer is very good, but I like to judge for myself. Well, here we are, made it to Rüdenhausen. There's another bus stop across the road from where I can hopefully get the bus back later. The only thing wrong is that it only runs 3 times a day. So I'm going to have to leave the pub just as I'm hopefully enjoying the beer, and worse than that, because of the bus timetable, I'm here now and it isn't even open yet. But let's go and find it anyway. Well, I think it's just behind the church here, so let's have a look. So I made it. I'm here at the Brauerei Wolf in Rüdenhausen. The pub opens in 10 minutes, but I've already attracted attention. at Brauerei Wolf. I'm drinking the Dunkles lager beer. What can I say? It's the only beer on tap. It's incredible. It's so full of Munich malt flavours. Lovely aromas of bread crusts, not burnt crusts, but just chewy. And the other note is those malt sweeties that you get in chemist shops here in Germany. It's not very bitter, but with this malt bomb of flavour, it doesn't need to be. Strangely enough, all the other customers are drinking bottled pills instead, whereas this is much better. Anyway, I have to head for my bus soon, so I better get this down the hatch. You know, the real tragedy is though that this place ought to be rammed on a Sunday lunchtime, and it's empty. There are a few people on the benches outside, but not many. Because the locals would rather be at home with a crate of Kronbacher. Well, the Dunkles is really very, very good. The pub is lovely, and Herr Wolf seems happy enough. Many villages like this one have already lost their local brewery, and some towns much bigger than this have also lost their local brewery. Right, the bus should be arriving just about now. I'm paranoid now, even more paranoid than I was in Mallorca, because if this one doesn't turn up, then the next one is in 5 hours. This is where I am right now, in the middle of bloody nowhere, but it's pretty. Well, I chose this place mostly because I could sit in the shade, and I was hoping to have some lunch, but apparently the kitchens close at 2 p.m. in Iphofen, so I've just got my glass of wine and my large bottle of cold mineral water. It's a half pint of wine, because they don't about in Franconia. This is a dry Sylvaner from a local winery, Hans Wersching. Now, if you've believed that wine is a bit hoity-toity, then what you need to do is come and visit a wine growing region. It doesn't really matter where. And when you do, you'll discover that for people there, wine is there to be drunk, and they're not intimidated by it. Now, the German railway authority Deutsche Bahn used to advertise with the slogan "Stadtmitte ist da, wo der Bahnhof ist." The city centre is where the station is, and I know they were taking the piss, because that's certainly not true of Iphofen. It's a good 15-minute hike out of the centre to the station. The train is 5 minutes late and I've come down onto the platform. It's absolutely baking. Seriously, it's hotter here than in Mallorca. I'm not sure I can stand it for the 5 minutes until the train comes. Did our train just get held up for delivery of cars? That's not very green, is it? Oh. Now, I was really thirsty on my way to the station, so I stopped at the petrol station for a drink. This is part 2 in the series German low and no alcohol drinks that you should drink in preference to Coca-Cola or Schifferhofer. This is Caramalz. It's part, it belongs to the category colloquially referred to as malt beer, although technically it's called a malt drink, which means it's not technically a beer, although I have no idea why. It's made from malt and hops, except it has no alcohol. And it tastes of malt, not so much of hops. And it's genuinely delicious. Also, if you get a can like this, take it back to the shop because there's a deposit of 25 cents on it. Don't just throw it away. Well, back in Kitzingen, the timetable challenge worked out fine. And now I don't know about you, but I need a drink. Now, there's something that people in the south of Germany love even more than cheeses and pork, and I bet you can't guess what it is. It's asparagus. Spargel. When asparagus, this white asparagus, is in season, as it is right now, people go absolutely mental for it and eat it at every opportunity, as I'm doing. As an aperitif, I've got this Pils from Uxner Brauerei in nearby Oxenfurt. And that's a crisp beer, only lightly scented with hops, and it's got this really crisp feeling like lettuce or celeriac or even fennel. Well, I was going to have another glass of local wine with my Spargel, but as it arrived before I'd finished my beer, I decided just to skip the wine and move on to a nightcap. This is Trester. It's the German parallel to Grappa. It's made by fermenting and then distilling the stuff that's left after pressing the grapes to make wine. This one, as you can see from the colour, has been matured in an oak cask, giving it woody, bourbon-like aromas. Well, I'm off home tomorrow. It's been an enjoyable few days traipsing around Franconia. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed doing it. and I hope you'll join me next time. My name is Rob Stawowski, and I've been in the pub.